Hi, this video is that I'm doing is about my weight loss surgery. Some of you may know that I had the duodenal switch, and my surgery date was December the 19th, 2013. Um, my beginning weight was 240 pounds, and right now it is December, January, February, March, April, May, June. It is 7 months since I had the surgery, and I weigh now 131 pounds, and I am in a size 10, 9, 10. So went from a size, I think, 22 to now a size 9, 10. The reason I had the duodenal switch is because I had the lap band, and I had it done in Juarez, Mexico, about 2 years ago, and I didn't lose any weight at all. I had no restriction, nothing. I spent the money for absolutely nothing because nothing happened. Um, since then, what happened was in October, um, my lap band separated. I was helping a family member move, and it separated from the port. So it began having a infection and had to be removed. Um, but at the time, I couldn't get it removed because my blood pressure was too high for me to have surgery. So I had to get my blood pressure down, and then they was able to do my surgery December the 19th. During that time, when I went in there for surgery, it was only supposed to be laparoscopic, but he had to actually open me up like a C-section because the infection had got so bad. So it was touch and go for a while. They didn't know if I was going to make it or not. I have been through so much. In October, I ran my own business and was working too as well. Everything was going fine. But once I got sick and in the hospital, I wasn't able to do the things that I once did, such as run my business and work. So I've been out of work for about 7 months now. I'm just now getting back to my self a little bit. After the surgery, I stayed almost a month in the hospital. I was hooked up to all kinds of tubes. I had even a pain pump that I was on for a certain period of time. I had so many complications, and it was just the grace of God that brought me through. Um, I spent Christmas in the hospital. I spent New Year's in the hospital. I went to the Slidell, um, Louisiana Surgical Center in Slidell, Louisiana. My doctor was wonderful. He calls me his miracle patient because of everything that I've been through. Um, After I was able to get out the hospital, I returned a couple of times due to complications that I was having. I wasn't able to walk for 3 months. So, because I was in so much pain and I was out of it, I was on medication, Dilaudid. When I got out the hospital, I was on 7, 8 different types of medication, blood pressure, so many different things that I've been through. Um, I had to go back to the hospital because I had a couple of weeks later after the surgery, because I had blood clots in my stomach, and I ended up being in the hospital an additional week for that. With all the pain medication that I was on, I kind of got addicted to the pain medication, and I knew something wasn't right. So I called my insurance company and asked them to put me in a treatment center to get off the medication because Dilaudid is a pain medication that's just like heroin, and you really don't need to be on it. And you can tell when you're addicted to medication, because you'll stop being in pain and you'll continue to want to take the medication. And when you do that, that means that there's an addiction there and you really need to get off of it. Um, Mine wasn't too bad. I was just, all I wanted to do was sleep all day, take my medicine, and go to sleep. That's all I wanted to do. I didn't eat that much. The protein shakes I did take, my vitamins I did take, and I went to Laurel, Mississippi to check myself into detox to rehab. I paid $500 for my deductible, and I stayed in there for 7 days. And it only takes about 3 days for you to come off the medication. Um, with that pain medication, the reason why you really need to be in a facility that can watch you is because coming off of Dilaudid, you have hallucinations, you have um, bad withdrawals, and in a hospital setting, they're able to give you things that you won't have those withdrawals. All I remember is when I got there, um, they gave me some medicine and I slept through it. So I really didn't have the shakes and all those kinds of things. After the third day, since everything was out of my system, I went down to like a surgical floor because they really need the beds. They only had 10 beds there. So I went to a surgical floor, and I had like a little abscess. So they had to give me some antibiotics for that. I came home and something hit me like within a week, and it was like I needed to get up out the bed. I needed to push myself a little bit more and a little bit more. So I just started trying to walk. I just started taking one foot in front of me, trying to get back on my feet. I lost the weight pretty quickly. If you think 240 pounds, I'm 5'3", 5'2", and then that's over 131 now. That's over 100 pounds in 7 months. So when you lose weight that quickly, you tend to have problems like for right now, I have problems in my legs because it's like your body goes through a shock of losing that weight so quickly that you have to make sure that you take your vitamins and your potassium and everything in your protein. You have to get it in because if not, you won't get back to yourself. Um, but through prayer and through pushing myself, I was slowly able to walk. I wasn't able to go upstairs. I wasn't able to walk upstairs. But I've been able to get myself back together. Just getting dressed every day was a challenge for me. Um, um, all the medications mostly I've come off of because I'm not a person that likes to take medicine unless it's, you know, that I really need it, like blood pressure. I will take that every day. That's important. But everything else, if it's not nutritional, I won't take it because it's not good to be on all those different medications, especially if, you know, it makes you want to sleep or do things like that. Um, I recently had to go back in the last month, and the reason was is because the pouch that my doctor made for me was too small. So you can tell that your pouch is too small because you won't be able to digest your food. You won't be able to swallow, and you just feel like you have fluid in your mouth all the time. So I went back in for that. I stayed about 3 days and came out, and since then, you know, my food goes down fine. The things that I can't eat now are you can't have sugar at all. Any raw sugar will make you sick. Your stomach will cramp up so bad you will never try it again. You'll try it once, but that will be the only time. You'll never try it again. Um, I don't drink alcohol anymore because alcohol has sugar in it, and I can't even tolerate the taste of it. So a lot of things that I eat and drink now are the protein shakes, water, the crystal lights. Those are good. Tea. Um, um, and with my food, I tend to have problems with salad. I can eat little bitty pieces of chicken, which is fine. Meats are okay, not in big chunks. Um, but I tend to like a lot of fruit now, which I didn't eat before. I take the fruit like watermelon, cantaloupe, melons, things like that. You take it, put it in the freezer for a couple of hours, take it out, and it tastes just like sweet icicle pops. That's like with sugar in it, but not. So you become accustomed to different types of healthier foods, which actually turn good for you and they're good to eat. So celery and those type different things are I'm becoming I'm beginning to like them more. Once you haven't had sugar in a while, you tend to not miss it. You tend to wean yourself off of that addiction, which is sugar. Another thing that I don't drink is not caffeinated, but carbonated sodas. I can't tolerate any kind of carbonated soda at all, because once you start feeling it's like a down type of way, and you start to hurting, and you gotta like lay down for at least 30 minutes. Once you have that dumping syndrome that you may hear people talk about, you don't want to go through it again, and you won't eat things that will make you have that dumping syndrome. Um, right now, I changed a lot of things in my life. I hadn't been able to go back to work. I sold my business, so I'm not running my business anymore, and just chose to take a different career path, such as truck driving, because that's been one of my goals that I've always wanted to do. But I've been, overweight, not wanting to do a lot of things. And now that I have children that are older, um, traveling is something that I want to do. So I figure my husband and I can go traveling on the road and get paid for it. You go to different cities and you can choose, where you want to go. So right now, I recently got my CDL permit, and my next step is to get the license and actually start driving. But it is life changing. A lot of times, my doctor asked me, um, if you had a choice to do it all over again, would you do it? And sometimes I think I wouldn't if I knew now what I know. If I known what was going to happen to me now, then then I may not have chose to do this, because it's been the hardest 7 month struggle of my life, and it's serious. And if you don't take care of yourself and have a good support system around you, it's very easily to get depressed and to not come through it, because people have died from this surgery. um, but you have to stay positive. If it's a choice that you made to do it, then you have to follow through with it, and you have to be positive about it, because once you make that choice, it's life changing, and you can't go back. You have to deal with any complications that may happen. um, I feel a lot better than I did before. I can see the weight, just coming off. I recently, about 2 weeks ago, went to the thrift store and purchased me some clothes, because my clothes was just falling off of me. Nothing fits the same, and I didn't want to go buy a whole lot of clothes and be like, maybe this is temporary. So I want to start off slow. A lot of things that you could do with your old clothes is I started selling mine on eBay. and shipping them off because I can't wear them anymore. You might as well get rid of them because you'll be, at a size at a while. Like I say, it took about 7 months, and I'm at a stage right now that I need to maintain. I don't really need to lose any more weight. You can see, like, in my neck, how it's all drawn in, and like my arms, you got to work those out because they become really flabby on you. Um, my face is different. I can tell, with it being like drawn in, and I'm gonna have to do something about my eyes and things like that. But you have, loose skin that you got to tone up some kind of way. And other than that, that's basically about it. If you have any questions regarding weight loss surgery or what type of surgery that that you would like to choose, I mean, just let me know if you have any questions. I'm gonna try to get some before pictures and after pictures up with me in them. But I feel pretty good. I'm getting back to normal. I'm not quite there yet. Just have some problems with my legs, like I said, but that's because of losing the weight too quickly. My appetite is good. Um, I didn't think I was gonna like those protein shakes, but you start to like them. They start, you could do so many things with them, and with fruit and different things that you can put in it. Um, I noticed in my weight loss that my bra size was like 44D. I'm now down to maybe a 36C, um, 34, 36C. My feet, I was wearing like a 10 in my shoe. Now I'm down to like an 8.5. I used to couldn't wear heels, but I can start, you know, tolerating wearing heels. Eventually, when I get everything together, get finished with school and everything, I'm gonna do, some sort of makeover. But right now, being in trucking school, you really don't need any makeup or anything like that. So it's just getting through this. But if you have any questions, feel free. The only thing that I do need to work on as well is like my stomach. You still have that, uh, I guess, you know, some your stomach in a way. It's easy to cover, but nothing's really going to help that. But sit ups and exercising. But once you had the weight loss surgery, you really need to build back up your muscle because you losing the fat, but you have to build up your strength, and I need to build up the strength in my legs. So I tend to do that. But like I say, I had my surgery December 19th, 2013, and today is June the 24th. It's been 7 months. My beginning was 240, and now I weigh 131 pounds. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to make comments, and I'll respond to you. And I will also get you some before and after pictures of my weight loss journey. Thank you so much.